There's a massive development in the Manchester United takeover saga, with one of the potential buyers set to submit a new official bid. That's what we'll be discussing on today's show. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. So this story is coming out from Bloomberg, which is, of course, the financial business portal, website, whatever you want to call it. It's coming out from Bloomberg on Twitter and on their official website, and they are reporting the following. We'll get into all of this together. It says, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is restructuring his offer to buy Manchester United in an attempt to break the deadlock in the long-running takeover saga. Now, for anybody who is unaware, obviously Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid was originally for 50% of the club, and he'd offered somewhere around £2.5 to £3 billion. Now, the issue that Sir Jim Ratcliffe found with his bid was that the minority stakeholders who own, at the moment, 31% of Manchester United were not happy with this, because what the Glazers were effectively doing was they were selling their shares, 50% of their shares. Remember, they only own 69%, the Glazers. The Glazers were going to sell 50% of their shares to Sir Jim Ratcliffe at a very inflated price, way more than what it was worth on the New York Stock Exchange, right? But this would mean that the 31% shareholders didn't have the option to sell their shares, whereas Sheikh Jassim was going to buy all of the club, meaning the 31% would get their shares bought as well. And there was even going as far as saying that these shareholders were willing to take legal action against the Glazers and against Sir Jim Ratcliffe if they decided to sell to him. And when this news came out a couple of months ago, it pretty much put Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid dead in the water, because there was no way that he could please everybody with only buying 50% of the club. Now, this news story that's come out in the last couple of minutes also goes on to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is now working with his advisors to address concerns about the terms of his bid from the minority investors in Manchester United. His previous proposal for 50% of the club left little benefit for the likes of Lindus Train, Ariel Investments, LLC and Eminence Capital. So those are the four main companies who own part of the 31% shareholder. It then goes on to say that proposals of both Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Qataris are still being considered by Manchester United, as well as a potential minority stake sale, which is the worst possible option we can have. That's where the Glazers get the money from somewhere and they stay in full power. And it goes on to say that neither party has been able to meet the Glazers' price expectations yet. Now, the thing I want to ask you is, this new bid that's supposedly coming in from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, just going back to the first quote from this article saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is set to submit a new bid, restructuring his offer in an attempt to break the deadlock in the long-running takeover saga. Now, is there a world where Sir Jim Ratcliffe tries to buy 100% of Manchester United? Maybe he says to them, I'll give you the $6 billion for 100%. And what would be your opinion on it then? Because this is a conversation we've never really had on this channel or in this community. How would you feel about Sir Jim Ratcliffe if he bought all of the club and he got rid of the Glazers? I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, because I know a lot of you are really upset about this, especially because he was going to keep the Glazers. He was going to facilitate them staying, which for most Manchester United fans was our worst nightmare, okay? But what if, this new bid that he's going to put in, this restructuring of the old deal, means that the Glazers would sell all of their shares and that he would own 100%? It would completely change things. It would completely spin things on his head, especially if he offered more money than Sheikh Jassim. For me personally, I'm a little bit concerned about it, because I don't think he has the funds to be able to build the stadium out of his own money. I don't think he has the funds to invest in the team out of his own money. I think he would then have to borrow money from places. Obviously, all of the business was going to be done through his Ineos company. So the club would actually be owned by Ineos, not by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And Ineos has more than one owner. It has shareholders. It has people who've invested money in it. It's not just 100% Sir Jim Ratcliffe's company. He has shareholders who will want to see profit year on year. That's the bit which I don't really like about Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid. Whereas Sheikh Jassim, ultimately, he's just got a pool of money from his, the Qatari wealth fund. Allegedly around 250 billion is their net worth. And they seem to be willing to just throw the money at the club in order to get us back where we need to be. But I want you guys to let me know how you think this situation is going to go down. Obviously, this is a massive, massive story. Bloomberg is one of the most legit financial websites out there. They only post stuff about finance and business. So this isn't some, clickbait story on the Daily Mail or in the Sun. This is coming from a direct source that have been very, very good around Manchester United. And the headline is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is set to put in a new bid. Let me know what your thoughts are on this one, guys. Obviously, we can discuss this more on the next live show, but I just wanted to do a quick video just to get you guys' opinions. Where do you think the takeover saga is going to go from here? Are you concerned about what this new bid from Sir Jim Ratcliffe might look like? For me, I'll just say this, right? Anybody who wants to keep the Glazers is an enemy of the club for me. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe played his cards from the beginning. He tried to win the club by keeping the Glazers. And for me, that is a massive problem, okay? If he'd have entered this from the beginning, saying I'll buy 100% of the club, I'll clear the debt, I'll build a new stadium, I'd say, you know what? Great, let's give him a chance. But he didn't. He said, I want 50% of the club. I'm going to keep the Glazers. I won't clear the debt. I don't have the money to build the stadium. And for me, that's just a massive red flag. And him restructuring his offer, that's a massive red flag for me as well, because he's trying to get around these minority investors who, to be honest, they're a small part of this, okay? If he comes in with the Glazers and they stay, do they not understand the level of anger that's going to be in the fan base, right? Anybody who facilitates the Glazers is going to be an enemy of the Manchester United fans. I can tell you that for sure. But let me know what your thoughts are on this one, guys. Obviously, we will keep bringing you the news as and when we get it. Please let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. And as always, please do make sure to smash a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran, and I'll catch you all later.